I'll bring again tulips from Amsterdam. With a heart that's true, I'll give to you tulips from Amsterdam. I can't wait until the day you fill these eager arms of mine. Like the windmill keeps on turning, that's how my heart keeps on yearning for the day I know we can share these tulips from Amsterdam. Spring again, oh, I'll bring again tulips from Amsterdam. With a heart that's true, I'll give to you tulips from Amsterdam.
That's the end of the show. We see what you did in Amsterdam. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Simon. Anyway, hello, boys. How are you? Boys in Amsterdam. Not bad for some. So you went to see this right here. So you want to tell me what this is all about, fellas?
It's a toy show.
Right. Well, so how did you end up finding out about this, and what made you all go?
So I'll jump in. Sorry, I just might as well. It was about a year ago. I think I'm going to name check a few people. I watched Retrohead Geek Out's one of his videos, and he'd been to this show and it looked really good. So I spoke to Chris Meewar and said, "Can you let me know when the next date of it is? I'm definitely going to come over and come to it." And then I think I mentioned it in a group of a few of us, and Martyn was the first one who kind of said, "Yeah, I'm up for that." And then VTR kind of showed an interest, and then that's basically how we ended up there, pretty much. So
what did Mira bring it up, and you all thought, "Oh, this will be pretty good"? Or
I noticed it on Ed's Retro Geek Out's video, and then basically I spoke to Chris Meewar and said, "Can you tell me a bit more about it? Like when the date's released in Holland, can you let me know ASAP?" And then when I got the dates was when I went to like a lot of us and said, like, I'm going to this, even if I'm going on my own. And then I think Martyn and Dave said, "Oh, this looks good." And that was that. So,
awesome, man. Hello, Boris. Nice to see you, pal.
Yeah, that is my dad. Boris is my dad. And I'd like to wish him, I hope he is feeling better because he had some surgery done on Friday.
Oh, right. We'll get well soon, Boris. Hey, our Des is here. Palps is here.
By the way, it's not even his name. Sorry, his name's not Boris, so it's just using an only. Sorry, just had to say that.
Hey, Ops, nice to see you, buddy. Palps is here. Adam Long is here. God, we've got loads of people here already. So, is this any of yours first time to Amsterdam? Or have you been before?
It's my first time there.
Your first time as well? Times. You've been a few times. What about you, VTR? Have you been to Amsterdam?
Yeah,
before?
I've been a few times. Been a few times before.
It seems like a nice place. I saw the pictures of it and so forth, and it looks really, really nice. So what was the traveling like? What was the arrangements like? Where did you stay? That kind of thing.
Well, I've been looking at this fair for a while. I know Adam was talking to Miwa and that, but I've been looking for a few European fairs for a while because you do get a bit bored of just going to the same ones all the time. And I also wanted to sort of see what was going on in Europe, right, with regards to toys, because there's quite a few toy lines out there that never made it over to the UK. So there's just one, and then there's one in Germany, and there's one in Belgium and stuff like that. So who knows, might be a few more trips to Europe. But yeah, travel wise, so this time, as we were because a couple of years ago we did a road trip, Camilla and I, to Stockholm. We decided to drive, and we stopped in Amsterdam as one of the stops. And one of Camilla's good friends lives out there, but we didn't visit. And they were like, "Why didn't you visit? Why didn't you visit?" So this time it's like, okay, we'll go early. And so we left on Thursday. We took the car again on the Eurotunnel, just half an hour under the water, and then we drove up to Bruges. Stayed overnight in Bruges in Belgium, which is always good fun. Lots of chocolate and beers and lots of other good stuff there. And then the next day, travelled up to Amsterdam, or just on the sort of southern part of Amsterdam. Visited Camilla's friends, who have an amazing house. I didn't realise what the house was going to be like, but they're actually backed onto a lake, and the guy owns a boat. And they took us out on the boat, and had plenty of liquid refreshments to go.
At the time of his life, listen to that. Brilliant.
And then that was Friday night, and then Saturday morning was when we met up with Adam and Martyn and the crew in Haarlem, which is next door to Amsterdam. So it's
it's all right. Well, that was a question I asked them, because I was watching Martyn's video last night. And by the way, I don't know whether Dave, will you probably make a video of it as well or not, but Martyn and VTR's YouTube channels are in the description. So if there's anyone new watching, the links to their videos and descriptions to their videos is in the descriptions. So I thought it was like a borough, like London has Chelsea and that sort of stuff. It's not a borough of Amsterdam. It's the town next to Amsterdam. Then is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they call it a borough of Amsterdam. Yeah, because before the show, one of the dealers actually contacted me on my Sandown video and said, "Oh, I've got some stuff that you might like. And by the way, you're not going to Amsterdam, you're going to Haarlem." It's like, oh, oops. Oh, I've obviously upset you then.
Yeah, I'll scrub out that intro. We'll start again.
When we arrived in Amsterdam on the train, and I looked at it on Google Earth or whatever, and I thought, because you look at Google Earth and you think, oh, that's really close. When we get to Amsterdam Central, we can just walk there. And when we finally got there, Adam pulled it up on his phone, and we actually realised it was, what was it, a 3-hour walk?
Yeah, it's 12 miles away, so yeah
3 hours. So we quickly had to find a train to Haarlem, which we managed. I think we had a minute to spare, didn't we, before it shot off? But yeah, it is quite a distance from Amsterdam, but it's a lovely, lovely place. It's so quiet. It's unbelievable.
So is it a major city, Amsterdam? Because like I said, I've never been, and it's not as big as London and Paris, is it? Or is it? No, small.
It's similar though. Is in the, if you're walking down there, except for there's loads of people, there's loads of tourists, so it's very much like a tourist place, like London and Paris.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah. It's a big.
What's the prices like? What is it? Is it an expensive place, Holland, or I can never work this out either. Is it Holland or the Netherlands? What do they call it?
Well, we had that discussion with Camilla's friends. Is it Holland or is it Netherlands?
Yeah.
So right, in my mind, the Netherlands is the whole area. The whole country is called the Netherlands. Yeah. And I think traditionally Holland was a subset of that, but they say it doesn't matter. Just call it Holland or the Netherlands. It really doesn't matter.
Oh, so there's no right or wrong then. You can
apparently not. That's according to a local. So
right. So pricey place or
no? It depends what you're talking about here. So I would say food was probably the sort of prices I would expect to pay. I wouldn't say it was overly expensive. If you're referring to toys, there were certain toys that were really kind of, I would say, maybe a bit more than what we'd pay, but there was a lot of toys that were a lot cheaper than we would pay. So it was a real mix depending on what you're into, really. We have actually got a Dutch person in the chat, so I'm sure he can correct us if we do say anything wrong.
He's our Dutch moderator. Brilliant. Well, that's what I want you to do. You see, I love doing stuff like this. It's like when you lot go to the NEC, when you do stuff like this. Yeah, by you coming on and sharing your experiences and your stories and all that sort of stuff, either A, someone might go next year, or B, it makes us like we've all gone. So you were saying before about different sort of toy lines that aren't. Is there anything specific that any of you were looking for whilst you were there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Well, I went. I was told by several people, they won't, because obviously, I'm Star Wars and not much else. And I was told by a lot of people, you won't see much Star Wars there. There's not going to be much Star Wars there. There was absolutely loads of Star Wars, and maybe if we'll come to it later, but there was so much Star Wars that I've never seen before, and items that I've never even imagined I would ever collect or buy that were there. I was absolutely blown away. But all the stuff that I don't collect that was there, it was fantastic because I had Dave and Adam that were there sort of just filling me in on all this stuff, and I was getting just as excited by the stuff I don't collect than by the stuff I do collect. So I mean, it was an absolutely amazing toy fair. It really was.
I'm really happy you said that, because I'm a firm believer of that too. You know, you look at what other people collect or what other people are interested in, and it's their passion that feeds off it as well, and you get really invested. So yeah, I agree with that. What about you, Adam?
Yeah, so well for me, G.I. Joe's a big thing for me. I was tipped off the day before or the night before, and by some people, and they said you'll see more G.I. Joe than you've seen anywhere else, and that was definitely true. I'm sure VTR would agree there was miles more G.I. Joe than we see in any of the UK toy fairs at all, and it was really good prices. Like I said, I could have gone crazy, and I'm not that kind of person, but I could have brought a lot of stuff back and just flipped it and made money because it was that cheap. But, you know, it's one of them things. The G.I. Joe was a big thing. Micro machines, as you can see behind me, that was quite big in Europe, especially Italy. And we knew there was a stall. Well, I knew there was a stall there that had come from Italy. So I knew that might be on the radar as well. So, and then everything else, I just wanted to get stuff that was predominantly Dutch. And I don't mean I wanted to buy a pair of clogs. I just wanted to get, you know, some Dutch stuff, like stuff that you can't get in the UK.
I know exactly. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And what did you think? Right. So, for example, you watch a Leicester Vintage one, and when he goes to Germany, you realise how big Masters of the Universe is right there. And I had no idea, you know. And there's certain things that I know collecting that stuff that, you know, the audio books and that was big. But what did you think was the biggest thing in Holland that made you three go, yeah, they like this over here?
I personally, like, if you forget the G.I. Joe, there was a lot of like predominantly girls' toys there. So there's a lot of My Little Pony, a lot of Gem. So you would have loved it, Shabs. There was a lot of Gem, like box stuff. And there was quite a bit of Starcom. You don't see much Starcom in the UK. And I noticed there was quite a bit of Starcom stuff. I don't know if Dave noticed that as well. A few box stuff from Starcom and a few loose bits. And I've got a friend who's really into Starcom. So for me to see that, I was sending him loads of videos going, you got this one, you got that one, and was doing that pretty much as well.
There's Adam's video right there, Martyn and Adam's. Let's have a look at Matt's collection. Yeah, because you showed some of the prices that they were doing. I was pretty impressed. It's like the that last 17 Stormtrooper Luke for €20. I was like, I mean, it's a little bit yellow and stuff, but even that, you're not going to find that on eBay for €20. So
I picked up a telescoping R2D2 light, you know, the lightsaber. It's battered. It's got no lightsaber in it, but it was €5, and you know that's you know, there's no questions there. I'm picking that up straight away, you know, just so I can say I've got a loose you know, pop-up lightsaber R2D2, and you know, someone was telling me that something like that, you know, in that sort of condition without a lightsaber, you're looking at about £60-70 on eBay, and I got it for €5. And you know, I don't want to steal Dave's thunder, but there was a couple of times I was with Dave, and Dave actually questioned the prices to the person that was selling it, because he was
mad. Is that what he said to me? He's stupid.
Yeah. I mean, it was honestly, I have never ever. There's several examples I could give you of the prices being. I mean, I'll tell you one quick story that I found. I looked at this tub that was under a table, right? It had about, I'd say, 30 to 40 TVC 1.0 carded action figures, all mint condition, hadn't got a blemish on them, all unpunched. And I was like, oh my, you never see those.
Yeah, they were the old school ones as well, like the Ahsoka and the Emperor and all that stuff that was there.
And they were selling them for €25 each. And the Ahsoka at the moment, even though it's been re-released, goes for around about £150-ish. Even you know, the 1.0 version unpunched, and he was selling them for €25. You know, so it was honestly crazy. Some of the prices.
As
of
an
Star
expert,
Wars.
I'm not sure between the conversion between pounds and euros. So what we're looking at there, roughly in pounds,
10% basically.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not. It's more or less the same then. It's
Yeah,
not,
so £22, say.
Wow, that's really
Yeah,
impressive.
and as I say, Shabby, there wasn't a blemish on them. I know these are modern toys; they're not vintage, but at the same time, they're 15 years old, and you expect them to have a bit of damage on them. And they were just chucked in a tub underneath the table. So I just it was mostly Star Wars I found this with. The guys would have to tell you about other things, but I got the feeling that Star Wars wasn't that much of a priority over there. So they were willing to just, sell it for whatever.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Right. That makes perfect sense.
I think you get that in every country. I'm sure that they would come here. So I've got an example of this, annuals. I was speaking to Peter, who runs the Toy Boys, and he was saying annuals go for quite a lot of money in Holland, and they love them. And you can pick up an annual for £2-3, a boot sale, whatever, and stuff like that. And they were saying annuals go for quite good money out there. So I'm sure there's things that are the other way round. But I don't know. Dave might have views as well on it, kind of thing. So
talking to somebody else who likes modern Star Wars, right there.
I think they're open to haggling as well, actually. Or no,
that's gross.
Definitely.
Yeah, but the way you question the prices, did you go, how much is it? They say, well, for you, $45 is that.
Yeah.
Sometimes have issue with prices, yeah. But some of them are all right with haggling and that kind of thing. Yeah,
I think
they'll take a couple off.
I think I think so. You get the feeling that at the end of the day, a lot of the dealers were happy to actually just get rid of stuff and not take it home. Because I think some of them, even though it's held in Holland, quite a lot of the dealers are not necessarily based in Holland. They've come from other European countries, so from Italy, from Spain and Belgium.
And they're bringing their country stuff as well.
Yeah, they're bringing their stuff over. And I don't think they necessarily want to take it back. So,
do they not tend to do that in the English ones, like Sandown or the NEC? Do you not find to get many Europeans coming over?
Sandown, you get a few European dealers come over. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But I find that Sandown, at the end of the day, honestly, I think we're just miserable buggers, aren't we, in the UK? So it's like somebody comes up to the dealer and says, "Oh, come on, it's the end of the day. Give me a discount." And they just tell you to, get lost.
Brilliant. Pod Racing Pulps asks, and anyone in the chat, if you have any questions for these three beautiful fellas, you're more than welcome to ask a question. Did you try the raw herring in a bun?
No. That sounds disgusting.
What did you try then?
More like Scandinavian than Dutch.
Is it more Scandinavian?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Burger and chips.
I did like the stoop waffles. The stoop waffles.
Yeah.
I was all over the stoop waffles. And I've even Chris Meanwhile gifted me and Martin some stoop waffles in a bag, and there was about 20 of them. I've already eaten them all. They've gone. What is it? It's Wednesday, and I was given them on Sunday, and they've all gone.
One left.
You got one.
All right. So did any of you try anything to eat that you have never had before or something? Because I'd go there and see in America. I tried all the American cuisines. Burgers, pizza,
the exotic burger,
all the exotic stuff. So you never tried anything that you didn't have at home?
I had a nice Dutch Rolsch.
Oh, what was that? Is that nice? Was it? Yeah. Did it have the top on it as well? You take the top off. Remember, you used to wear them on your shoes when we were kids. Do you remember them? Yeah. Let's have a look. So we asked that one. Is that something from the red light district, pod racing? I don't think they went there. I used to get back to Paris. I need to get back to Paris and Amsterdam. I'm sure Pouts has some great stories from there. Hi, Luke. A plethora of big dogs tonight. Yeah, it's awesome. It's nice. We're 50 people in the chat as well, so that's brilliant. I'm just going to get down a little bit. Hi, Biker Scout. Hello, DCB. Lovely to see you, my friend. Hi, Carol. Carol's here. Wow. Like I said, everybody's turned up. Everybody's here. Kevin says it's horses for course, but I can understand Star Wars not being a priority. Yeah. It can't be. I suppose it can't be. How much are you looking for one of those? Say, for example, you're on eBay or Sandown looking for those vintage collection figures. How much are you looking for there?
Well, I mean, the Ahsoka VC 102, I think it is 1.0, you're probably looking at around about 130 to 150 pounds, I would guess.
Wow.
Unpunched in mint condition, and yeah, to have it for 25 euros, I mean, it was a no-brainer, really.
Retro Bunker asks everyone, what was your favorite item you spotted that was well over budget, so you had to walk away?
I've got a good example of this actually. Martin will know because I was really quite frustrated about this.
Oh yeah.
I quite like Entertech spitballs. Now these are not like, they're a bit like the spitballs everybody else is collecting at the moment. I can't think of the name. Mad balls, but they're not really. Yeah. They're kind of like the precursor to them. Anyway, there was one stall, and I won't name the stall because it's a bit harsh, but I felt he'd overcooked them a bit. And especially as I just brought a set from another stall for half the price. And I said to him, I was honest to him, I said, well, I just paid the half the price at that stall. But I said, I'll be honest, he's not got the ones you've got. So I said, I suppose that's where it comes into it. But I had to leave them because I just couldn't bring myself to pay in for them when I just paid half price at a different stall for a slightly different set. So, but that's one example that comes to my mind. I must have gone back about 5 times, didn't I, Martin? And I was like, I think I got him down by 10 euros. That was it. And I was like, no. So,
what did you want him for free?
Well, I wanted them for near the price that I'd got from the other stall. Basically, right. You know.
I think Adam's undercooking it. Actually, I think it was more than over half the price. I think
it might have been nearly triple.
It was a lot more, and he wouldn't budge, would he? And you went back 3 or 4 times during the day, and he still wouldn't budge, even though he hadn't sold them.
Yeah. It's really frustrating.
What about yourself, Martin?
Mine's kind of a weird one. Again, I saw so much stuff that I don't collect that I was tempted by. Now, Adam and I were walking around, and we came across this doll, and I think we both thought it was a bootleg, and what it turned out to be was a hot toy, but it was one of the first ever hot toys that was ever made. I think it was 2001, 2000, wasn't it, Adam? And it was it was George Lucas, a George Lucas hot toy, and I'd never seen this before. I'm not a hot toy collector, but it was quite pricey. You know, I don't think I would have picked it up anyway, but I'm a big collector of George Lucas memorabilia, if you like, because, you know, he's the man, really, as far as I'm concerned. And I probably wouldn't have minded having it in my George Lucas section, but yeah, it was well overpriced. But yeah, if you look at it, if you look at it in the video, I think I put a bit up of it.
You did, yeah.
It's really basic, basic. And then you see what Matt's got now, and that's just highly detailed. I mean, it looks like the real thing, doesn't it? But yeah, that was probably the thing I would have picked.
Dave, what was yours?
I'm trying to remember. I have to admit, I was not 100% at the fair, or in fact, the whole trip, I wasn't 100%. The day before we were going to go, I came down with a bug, and I was not feeling great.
This happened to you last time you went away, didn't you?
Yeah, when I went to Sweden at Christmas, the day before, I got struck down, and we actually had to cancel the flight.
That's right.
And then the day before this one, it was like, you've got to be kidding me. So I'm trying to remember. There was a few things. There's one guy from Italy, I think it was called Toy Heaven. I mean, his store was just
Leo. Amazing.
Yeah, Leo. Everything. I could have just bought everything off of his store. He had Silver Hawks that were just in mint condition. A lot of the Silver Hawks of, you know, the metallic paint and stuff, they were all immaculate. He had so the one thing I was looking for. So when I went to Sandown the week before, I picked up this, right, which is Filmation.
Oh yeah, saw the video of that.
Yeah. This one is the these are the PVC figures. So these kind of things basically, and so Filmation Ghostbusters was actually the original Ghostbusters. It was like a live action show back in the mid 70s. Shown on TV, and then of course they had the film, right? The Ghostbusters film came out, which was unrelated, but they wanted to use the same name. And Filmation, not until pretty much the end of the filming of Ghostbusters, gave them the rights to use the Ghostbusters name. So the film comes out. Obviously, the film is like a massive success. So Filmation go, well, what do we do? So Filmation decided to create a cartoon of their live action, which is called Filmation Ghostbusters. That comes out. And then obviously they wanted to do a spin-off. The guys who did the Ghostbusters film wanted to do a spin-off of their Ghostbusters and make a cartoon as well. Because obviously in the 80s you want to sell toys and all that kind of stuff. But they couldn't call it Ghostbusters because Filmation wouldn't give them the rights to do that. So that's why you have the real Ghostbusters, which is the guys that you know. So yeah, Filmation stuff didn't come out really in the UK. It's very much a European thing. So having picked that up at Sandown, I really wanted to find more Filmation stuff.
Yeah,
and there was a lot of it there. And the key play set is the Filmation Ghostbusters house, which looks awesome. It's an amazing play set. Very hard to find, very brittle, loads of different parts and stuff. And a guy there that I got to kind of know quite well, Yuri, who's like a bit of a nut on Filmation Ghostbusters and had loads of collections through his hands. He had one at the back of his stall, and I walked past it. Every time I walked past it, it's like, oh, I'd love to get that. They also have a Ghostbusters car, which is awesome as well. It looks amazing. So there was quite a few of those Ghostbusters items that I would have loved to have taken home. But yeah, it's too much.
Would all three of you go again to the Toyzone? Was it worth the chip in your opinion?
Yes, and yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already waiting for the dates to come out. So
okay.
And Steph wants to go as well.
Is it a full weekend or is it a 1 day thing? Like
one day.
1 day, right? Okay.
I'd go for a long weekend because
Yeah.
there's so much other stuff to do other than that. So it's definitely worth, if you can, go for the weekend.
Yeah, I would go obviously to see the Toy Boys and Space Oddity as well, because they're two really good shops in Amsterdam, and Jeff and Pete and Michelle, who run them all, are really nice guys. We spent quite a bit of time in there. We were lucky enough to get let in about an hour before they opened on the Toy Boys. And Peter's just the loveliest guy. And Michelle's a bit quieter, but Peter, he gave us a good kind of history of how long the shop had been there and stuff like that. And that was kind of cool. And I really enjoyed that shop. And then Space Oddity was, if you like your Japanese stuff and your PVC kind of stuff and a bit of modern stuff, then that's really good for that. And that's the oldest toy shop actually in Amsterdam, Space Oddity.
Okay.
So
right.
There will be more. There will be more on this.
Yeah.
There will be more on this in Martyn's up and coming video. So I don't want to spoil it. Sorry.
Talking of grails that were too much, there was one in Space Oddity that I would love to have taken home, which was it's an old Japanese ballmark Godzilla figure from the 70s, die cast, but it opens up, and then inside it has like missiles that fire and a little mini space station and stuff. I have one, but I don't have all.
I was going to say, I'm sure you've got stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But this was complete. It was also in the box, and it was just too much. I would have loved to have taken it home. I thought
you were going to pull the trigger on that, Dave.
No,
I was wholeheartedly expecting you to, but it was quite. We hadn't gone to the toy fair, had we? And
exactly.
I think that's probably why.
I would have gone for it. Yeah.
Did anyone meet other YouTubers? And I saw you met some YouTubers, but were their views recognised?
No.
VTR's got to. No way, not you. I thought you definitely.
Oh, please.
I was going to say we spent all Saturday and Friday night with Lewis of Toy Overdose.
Yeah, I like his videos. I do. I like him.
Lewis is a great guy. I did say about coming on tonight, and he couldn't make it. Otherwise, I think he would have popped on. He don't normally do live streams, but he was going to pop by. But I speak to Lewis quite a bit, and he's a really nice guy. He's really interesting. He's got completely different collecting habits to me.
Yeah, he's more like Froggy Flips, isn't he? He likes the Mad Balls and the Street Sharks, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And obviously, Ed's Retro Geek Out was there.
So
it's always good to see Ed. Yeah. I'm like Dave. I've met Ed a couple of times, but Dave's had Ed round his house in that room, and stuff like that. And they're really nice guys and stuff like that. So yeah, but we were treated so well at the toy fair and everything. Like I do know the guy who runs the toy fair, and that kind of helped. But
I think well, let me just set the record straight here. I think Adam should really be called Ray Donovan, because basically he fixed the whole weekend for everybody. He's the fixer. We all turned up, and basically everything had been arranged, what times we could go in, and basically Adam had been on the messaging with everybody who ran the toy shops and the toy fairs, and got us all in early before the toy shops had opened, and to the toy fair. I think he even got us in the night before the toy fair so we could have a look round then. So I mean, I have to say a big thank you to Adam, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have got in quite as early as we would have done. So yeah, thanks, Ray.
Awesome.
Cheers. Well, to be honest, it's just Tyre, who's, I'm going to call him a friend of mine now, because he's a lovely guy, and I genuinely do see him as a friend now. Me and him, I brought some stuff in the UK to take over for him. He'd obviously paid me for them because he can't get them in Holland, or they're a lot more expensive in Holland. Yeah. And he runs a show, and he's a lovely guy, and his wife was there and his kids were there and stuff like that. And he's just really nice. And he did hook us up and treated us so well and stuff like that, and allowed us to go in and view things and stuff like that. Like
you see, that's nice. It makes you trip when they do that. I remember Brooks in Blackpool did it for Scuba when he went, and they opened the shop for him. Let me have a look. I like it like that. I've got some breaking news. Chasing 80s Chris says, on the way, hopefully in the green room soon. You need a Dutchman on the stream.
I think Tyre's just jumped into the chat, actually.
Yeah, Tyre's been in the chat, bless him, which is good. He's speaking Dutch, though.
That is a question. What weed did you bring him back?
It's in the post, sorry.
Yeah.
Did anyone pick up a mint on card My Little Pony for Stu?
It was tempting, but we didn't know. Stu's got so many My Little Ponies, we didn't know which ones he needs now. So
we didn't bother. Stu, what's her name? Rings, Joy. Absolutely brilliant. We've got, like I say, 50 people here, so thank you all so much for coming. There must have been Edam and Gouda cheese. Did you try the Edam and Gouda cheese?
Yeah, I had Gouda cheese, yeah.
Let's have a look. I've not yet watched your video, Martin, but I will do. Is there much Doctor Who stuff at the toy show? Good question.
I didn't see much.
I didn't see any Doctor Who, I don't think.
No.
So you don't have to watch it now, Dave.
Yeah.
It was a good video. Are you going to be making one, David? Are you making a video on it?
I will when I get the chance. Yeah, I've literally haven't. As soon as I got back, pretty much back to work. So, but yeah, I will have a video, but it will be me not feeling very well.
Copied all the way through it. I got this. I was fascinated by the G-Force figure. Yeah, they were awesome. Now, who made them, and where did you get them? How did you know about them?
This man knows all about them.
Yeah,
so I had to kind of go to Dave for this, because I didn't know much about them. Dave can fill you in on everything about them.
So this was actually this has been on my list for a long time, and I've had eBay searches for them for years. They come up on eBay. I have searches in UK, Europe, and US. They come up, but they're always broken. They're always kind of incomplete, and they're always incredibly expensive. So as Martin said, Adam had got us into the fair the day before. Some of the dealers are coming from abroad themselves.
Yes, sir.
They had a chance the day before to set up. So we went in. Most of the hall was empty. There was lots of tables set out, but it's probably about 10 dealers setting up. And having a look around, I was still feeling pretty rough, but having a look around, and walk up to one table. I think Toy Overdose was there. He had just bought something. And I'm looking around, and I look in one of the boxes, and there is literally just a pile of these Popey Gatchaman or Battle of the Planet figures. And each one of them was in a little kind of protective box. And I thought, my God, this is, I just, it's like step back a bit. It's like, I can't believe that these are all here in this box. Yeah. So we get chatting to the guy, and this guy he's got his own collection of them. And he's been finding them for many years, swapping them in and out and what have you. And I asked him, because I thought, I've got to get these. and I asked him how much are they, and I thought he said €300 each. And I kind of, based on my eBay searches in the past, I thought, well, that's probably right, because these figures were immaculate.
Are they like Bendhams? Are they like Bendhams?
No, they're actual figures. They're
actual figures. Right. Okay.
Yeah. And I thought, oh, what a shame. I'm just gonna have to walk away. But I had a good look at them. Anyway, I walked away, and I thought, I can't walk away, so I went back. and I talking to the guy a bit more. Yeah. And I was saying to him, and I'm thinking, I've got to get him down on this. And I said, how much were they again? He said 300. He said 300 each, didn't you? And no, it was like 300 for the set of 5. So there's 5 in the set. Wow. And now my brain's going, right, game on. So
hey, Camilla, you haven't got a spare €300, have
you? Game on. I've got to get a deal out of this. Anyway, so these are Popey figures, right? So Gatchaman came out in early 80s or late 70s, and then it was named Battle of the Planets in most of the other countries. So it was on the BBC back in the day as a cartoon. Absolutely loved it. It's basically a group of 5 kids under the name of G-Force. They protect the Earth basically from aliens. And they obviously got the Phoenix, right? Their ship, the Phoenix, which is absolutely awesome. And if you don't know anything about Battle of the Planets, just go on YouTube and watch the intro to Battle of the Planets. It's the most awesome. It's the most awesome intro ever. Yeah. So Popey released these figures, and then we didn't really get them in the UK. In the UK we had these die-cast. We had some die-cast vehicles, but in the Netherlands and France and quite a lot of other European countries, they released those 5 figures. Sometimes they released on the independent car packs, but then they also released them mostly as a 5-box set. And that's why you find them over there in Europe, because they're actually released over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, okay. So I got talking to the guy, and in the end, he just let me, because he had multiples of each, he just let me go through and he said, you pick the best. I'll swap over any of the accessories. You just go through, pick the best. So he helped me out. And it's like, pick the best, made a deal with him. Yeah. And it was like, even before the fair started, I'm like, well, I'm done. I don't even need to go. So that was a great pickup.
GJC says, love the Battle of the Planets.
Yeah.
Look, who's here? Here. Chris. Hello, Chris.
Hello, everybody. You're talking about the Netherlands or Holland.
It's awesome to see. So, what was it like this lot turning up? I bet you were pretty impressed with it. You're like, oh, the lads are here.
Yeah, that's it. I was talking with the lads, and I said this feels like NEC all over again. Smaller group, but just as much warmth and fun. So it was great having you over. And so happy we got to hang out on Sunday, and Dave and me hang out on Monday. On the way he went back, he passed my place, so that was great to drop by, and we had some fun, and we had so much in common, don't we, Dave?
Oh, we do actually, yeah. We have a fascination of the same car from back in the day.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant, man. Where did you stay, by the way? So did you stay? Was the hotel nice where you stayed at and that kind of thing, or?
I stayed in an Airbnb, which I didn't know it was an Airbnb till I got there, because it was advertised as a bed and breakfast, and I was a bit miffed at that, but it was all right. It was nice enough, to be honest. It was in Harlem. I think Dave stayed in Harlem. Martin, you were in Harlem as well, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I stayed in an equivalent like Holiday Inn type hotel, so it was fine. Did the job.
Oh, so you never stayed in the same place?
No,
we couldn't get you. So
Martin, no.
No, it's really hard to get. To be honest, when I booked it up, I remember saying to Dave and Martin that there's hardly any room left in any of the hotels, and it's really expensive if you stay in Amsterdam. So I was kind of saying you're better off staying in Harlem, because that's near where the fair is, and it's a bit cheaper. But it was quite difficult to get a room and stuff like that. Something I just wanted to say on top of that Battle of the Planets thing. The funny thing was, I had been given a list by a lot of my friends in the UK of what they wanted. because I was like doing a bit of a like. I said, look, if anybody wants anything, let me know, and I'll try and see if I can find it. And one of the guys I do the toy fair with, his top thing was a set of Battle of the Planet figures. So as soon as I saw Dave looking at them and I realised what they were, I was like, I've got to send these to. This gets really confusing. I've got to send them to Dave, another Dave, and kind of see if he wants them. And he was like, yeah, straight away, I want them and stuff like that. So because the guy was selling about 3 different sets, Dave purchased a set. The Dave I know here purchased a set, and I know the seller sold the other set, I think, on the day as well. So he got rid of all 3 sets of them. Yeah.
Brilliant. How many times have you been to this toy fair, Chris? Have you been a few times to this one?
Yeah, I've been a few times to the previous edition, and the previous editions were always held in Amsterdam, and they were a lot smaller. And this was the first time they ventured out into Haarlem, which is just next to Amsterdam. It's just a 3-hour walk, I believe someone figured out.
It's 3-hour walk.
12 miles. That's based on 4 miles an hour.
Yeah, but this was the biggest, and shout out to all the guys, to Taya and to all the guys from in the Toyzone. This was the biggest Dutch, Holland, whatever you want to call it, toy event we ever had in this country. We never seen anything like this before here. This was unheard of for the Netherlands.
How long's it been going for, Chris? Has it been going for a while?
It's been going for a few years. I've been going there for a few years and put some videos out on the smaller event, which was, it had its charm, but if you walked a few rounds, basically you've seen anything. And this place was packed. This was
I saw it on Martyn's videos. It was really it was like it's like a sports center. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. I think it's a sports center. I think there's some ice skating thing going on there as well. You can do some indoor skating or something. Cheers, Terry. Hi, Jace. But yeah, this was amazing. This really made me think about NEC too, size-wise. NEC is bigger, but this was definitely more on that grand scale. So we're definitely good to see, even now that we all are many years into toy collecting, and think that there are still new events popping up this size, that there's growth.
I agree. Yeah. I think that's why we all said it to Adam when he started his toy fair with his friends. We thought, what a nice thing to do. Do you know what I mean? And I think everybody wished you all the best for that, because I agree with you. We talk about the fact that it might be dying out in generations after us, but the fact that we still keep it going and there's more events and more people get involved, I completely agree. I have some pictures here, so I'm just going to go.
Can I just say the interesting thing as well? They are increasing the size of it. So next year it is going to be double the size, and it's going to be in the ice ring next door. So we were talking about you'd go past a stall, slide past it, and go €20 as you're going like fast. It's on an ice ring. But it's I want to just reiterate what Chris said. Like they done it really well. They'd sold a lot of tickets. They had separate zones. So there was a trading card zone. I feel like I'm advertising it, but I'm just being honest. There was like a trading card zone. Yeah. Then there was like kind of comic zone, and then there was the toy zone. And the toy zone was obviously what we were mainly interested in. But we did have a look at the trading cards and that, although it was a Pokemon heavy trading card. So if you're going for trading cards, just be aware it's Pokemon heavy. But yeah, it was amazingly busy. Like, it's inspired me really to speak to the guys and to kind of talk about how we can we're scaling up ours, but how we can kind of emulate something similar, because they really did do a great job.
Awesome, man. Can I ask you a question? Because we were talking before, and some of the lads brought it up in the chat about what was the biggest kind of toy line in the Netherlands. And it's funny how Dave was saying before that you go over and you see different products and different toys that we never had. What would you say was one of the, because Martyn was saying before about the Star Wars being kind of cheap in Holland, when he was there, some of the stuff he had in his video. So what is the major ones?
The major toy line back in the day in the Netherlands?
Yeah, that people are looking for now and selling up for.
Well, Star Wars still a big player, but I found out that on Saturday, the day before in the Toyzone, there was Echo Base. So I think a lot of guys and Star Wars sellers might have set up there the day before. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with, because there still was Star Wars there, but I don't know how it was for you guys. I expected more Star Wars even than I saw there. There was a lot of G.I. Joe. Lots of it. Moto was well represented. There even was Old School Toys bought a boxed Eternia set on their stall. That was amazing. So
a vintage box Eternia set.
Yeah, vintage box Eternia
content as well. Unused content.
Yeah, that was €3,000. I think he wanted for that.
3,900.
And did he have a sign saying "Scuba Pete's not allowed to touch the rails"? Do you know what I mean? Just in case.
Old school toys were really good. I was just trying to think. Them Battle of the Planets figures were from Vintage Empire, weren't they? They some of the stalls there were just another thing. Like Dave said, they didn't necessarily weren't in Holland. They'd come from outside, but they were so chatty and stuff like that. And there's nothing against. We get the same in England, but it was mad how like all the stalls were really chatty, really wanted to talk about what they were selling, knew a lot about what they were selling and stuff like that. And that was kind of quite cool.
VTR, is the atmosphere different? Can you tell you were at a European kind of toy fair compared to ones at home?
Yeah, I think the atmosphere was different actually. Actually, just generally, because we were talking about this, I think just generally in Holland, everyone's more relaxed, right? It's probably because of what they're smoking, but they are. It does feel more relaxed over there. Just generally, and in the toy fair, it felt more relaxed, laid back. You know, in the UK, it's a bit like car boots in the UK. As soon as it opens, everyone's like rushing in and just trying to swarm around. And I didn't really feel that here at the Toyzone. Yeah, well, as I say, I think the Brits are just miserable gits, aren't we?
I second what Dave's saying. It was so chilled. Yeah.
50 people in the chat. Dave was pissing off 2/3 of it. Please tell me one of you has picked up that Labyrinth vinyl. Please tell me one of you. When you pulled that out, I thought, oh my life. I bet Georgie did the same thing. Like, please. I know Steph wouldn't have liked it because she hates Labyrinth.
Why does Steph hate Labyrinth?
Why does Steph hate Labyrinth? But some of the stuff it was fascinating to see. I've got some pictures I want to show right here. So where are you all there then? So this is a Space Oddity. Is this a famous toy shop then, or?
Yeah, that's the oldest toy shop in Amsterdam. Jeff runs it, and it's been there 35 years, I think he said. Like I said, it's a bit of a hodgepodge of stuff. It's on 2 floors. It's where Dave nearly brought one of his growls.
So that was the place right there. Is that a shop you frequent, Chris? Do you go to this one a lot?
That was the first toy shop I ever visited. I think it's a family company. So Jeff's dad used to start with the toys.
Right.
And he's done really old toys, I think from the 50s or 60s, 70s. And Jeff runs the store now, and he really likes his droids. So I don't know if you noticed that when you walked in the store. There's a lot of Japanese kind droids, stuff like
Dave
that.
Was saying about them. Yeah, Dave was saying before. Yeah. Wow. Then there's this one, Empire Coffee Shop.
That was near where I was staying, actually. We didn't even go in it. We just took pictures because it had Darth Vader's.
We didn't even go.
Just because it had Empire and Darth Vader's face. We didn't even go even in it.
You didn't go in. You didn't. Now, sure, you didn't go in.
No, we didn't. We genuinely didn't. No, we just went, let's take a picture of it.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, we didn't go in. We just like the side.
Just took pictures outside.
So pouring down. So what's the weather like in Amsterdam? Same as us, basically.
It was terrible on Saturday, weren't it, guys?
Saturday was shocking,
yeah.
And then them umbrellas, right? They aren't the most masculine, but they would only find in a market, and they cost us, what was it, €5, 10 euros
10 each,
yeah. We just like, that'll do.
So is this at the parking space, is it then? Oh, you've got my favourite G.I. Joe ship right there.
Yeah, that was after the show, wasn't it? We were just about to leave, I think.
Amazing, yeah.
So there's your Duke Waffles. Who's this gentleman right here?
That's Tyre. That's the guy who runs the Toyzone.
Awesome.
He just crept in. We didn't know he was behind us, and he crept in and done that, and that was quite funny. So.
Yeah, look at the people behind you. Wow.
There was 2,000 people there, I think. They had 2,000.
So how many vendors would you say there was there, fellas?
Ooh. It was 100 tables. So normally if you base it on every table has 2, maybe 3, you're probably looking 40, 50 vendors, I reckon.
You've got cosplayers there. You've got families there. It looks like a good do, this, gents. It really does.
It was excellent.
Wow, I like the way it's all spaced as well. They do it like Joe Pace. You got space to go through each aisle, if you will.
That's actually a really good point, Shabby. I felt for the most part until sort of after 11 when it got really, really busy. It was so easy to get around. I mean, I was never having to. Well, I say about 12 o'clock. I think we were having trouble, weren't we, in the first few rows? But before that, you could get to every table quite easily with no barging or anything like that. It was excellent. Really, really good.
Yeah, it looks brilliant. That wow. Yeah, look at that. So it's spaced across. It's a big room. It's not a small place, is it? So that's worth traveling all that way just for that, isn't it? Look at the size of it.
100%.
Yeah, really impressive. Then this is Toy Boys. Now I've seen Chris Mira go to this place a few times.
I think that might be one of my new favourite toy shops, this place. And genuinely, I was in Toy Nirvana in this place, like for me. So I really enjoyed it, listening to Pete talking. And if you look closely, he's in the window, like behind us in that photo. He crept in it, and that's him in the window. And it's just really, really good fun to just be there. But it was a bit... We had to fight for airtime because me and Martin were doing filming. Lewis was doing filming. Dave was doing a bit of filming as well. We were all fighting for airtime in the shop to be able to without going over each other.
I was going through some of the footage today, Shabby, and basically Adam would go off and he was talking about Mask or something with Lewis, and he forgot to take the mic off. So basically. All of the video footage is basically Adam on the other side of the toy shop talking about Mask. And then he's talking to Dave about something else. It's quite funny. It's good. It was good.
There was a place in your video where that guy was making all the Masks cosplays and stuff to help. Is that the gentleman that's been in your videos, Chris? Before
that's a very good friend of mine. Yeah, that's Sander and Colleen, and they're cosplayers, and they make. Everything you see them wear, they make themselves. The cloth, the armor is made of foam, so those masks are made themselves. And he's the Matt Tracker guy. He does Men at Arms. Colleen does Evelyn and does Gloria Baker from Mask. And they awesome cosplayers and good friends.
Brilliant. Yeah, I saw his Man at Arms. He had a Man at Arms on it.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
That was my favourite one. That was brilliant.
He's quite a tall guy as well. So when he gets in the outfit, he kind of feels it and he looks like almost superhero-like because he's quite a large gentleman. He must be a good 6'2", 6'3" or something. He's not a short guy, put it that way.
Yeah. So, apart from Adam, what was the general aroma like? Yeah, because I've heard this before. The girls all go to yours, and the girls have no problem telling me, well, it's not a good smell in there, Shabs. But what was the smell? So Des wants to know, what was the smell like?
I thought it was fine. I mean, I didn't notice. Not once did I turn around and go, "Oh, what was that?" Like I do at Sandown sometimes. But then Adam was, with me for quite a lot of it, so he might have leaked some of his aroma onto me. I don't know, but
I was
that sounded a bit wrong, actually, didn't it?
Oh, brilliant! George says, "Evening, fellas. Well, sorry to have missed this toy show, especially because Chris was there, not because you three."
All right, all right, Georgie. Cheers.
Space Oddity is a great little shop, says R. Jason, and inside he still has Darth Vader on the wall.
It's got 3 or 4 blow molds.
Darth
Vader heads, yeah.
Hi, Retro Toy Guy site. Nice to see you, pal. Thanks for popping. Everyone's popped in tonight to see you, lads.
So Retro Toy Guy site, he came up to me. I didn't know what his face looked like, so he just came up to me. He's, you're VTR Dave. Yep. He went, I'm Retro Toy Guy site. So it's just he lives that way. I had no idea.
Wow, wow, okay.
No idea. So it was really, really fun just to bump into him.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for coming in and saying hello. Let's have a look. Oh, there were 3,200 people. Wow, that's a big do then. That is a big do.
Big number.
That is impressive, man.
Mm-hmm.
So are you wanting more people to go next year then? Because if you think, I think our side probably will go and maybe Des or whatever. And do you think more people will go next year?
I'm 100% planning to go, and I hope.
So you're definitely going.
Do go. Yeah. I'm hoping Tyre. I'm going to put him on the spot now, but I'm hoping Tyre's going to come in October to my show. He kind of mentioned that he might try to, and that would be really cool if he came over here. But he's got a family, so I don't know if it's going to be possible.
It's just so funny. It's all about Amsterdam, the thing in Amsterdam to that. But to see Chris Mira out there in these pictures, knowing he's going to be with me in 3 weeks, it's going to be awesome. The weather might not be as rainy. It might be in its 100 degrees when you get over here, Chris. So
3 weeks. 3 weeks from now, exactly. I think I'm on American soil. Yeah.
Wow,
it's crazy.
So Retrobunker's definitely going. Yeah,
I'm banning Nicky. I'm seeing him Sunday, so he's not allowed to go.
The toy fair was really good fun. Early bird ticket was gold. Missed the rush and took my time going around. It was nice to bump into Dave too. Prices. So what was the early bird prices like?
Well, we paid in advance. Didn't we pay €15 for early bird? And I think
something like that. Yeah.
General admission was $7.50.
Yes.
So, but we were very lucky. We were in about an hour before early bird. But so our €15 ticket went very far. So we were more than happy.
What was the early bird like though? Because I've noticed, I've seen Dave's video, and then Dave will go, "Oh, you've got the early bird ticket." He walks in, and everyone's still putting stuff out, and I'm like, "You think it would have been out? Was it the same over here where people still putting stuff out and getting ready for it?" And how early was the early bird? Was it like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, or
was it 9 o'clock, guys? 9 till 10.
9.
Early bird was.
Yeah.
And when we got there at 8, there was still people putting stuff out. But general public came in from 11. I'm trying to remember all these times. And that's when it was a bit hectic. It was really busy. But yeah, I might be wrong there. What time did you got there, Dave? We all did get there about 7:45, wasn't it? 8 o'clock?
Yeah, I got there for 8.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because I had to, that morning I had to travel, right, from my previous destination to the new destination.
Yes.
Yeah. Whilst
did you all drive? Did you drive over, David? Did you drive over with DCB, or did you get the train and drive? Yeah,
no, so we drove. We took the car. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because we went through Belgium, stopped there. Then I can't remember the name of the place in near Amsterdam where we stayed the night before, and then we travelled over to Haarlem. Yeah, and then on the way back we stopped at Chris's.
So cool. You were there for a few days visiting and staying there. Martyn and Adam, did you just stay for the weekend and come home, or?
Yeah, we got there Friday, didn't we, Martyn?
We got there Friday afternoon, yeah, and left Monday morning, which was a perfect amount of time, I'd say.
I've got this video here, so this is it all set up, and so yeah, you can tell by that video.
That was the night before we took that. Was it Saturday night? So that was the preview, and there was about 4 stalls set up or just setting up. So that's like with no vendors in it except for us and a few setting up.
And did you say? I'm sorry. Did you say that you went in the night before as well? You actually had a look around the night before, and did you charge for that, or did you just let you in to have a look?
We didn't get charged for it, but I had to drop off some items to Tyre, and he just worked out that we were around, and he done us a favour, and I've said if he comes over to my toy fair, I'll do him the same in return. So,
yeah, he's impressive. This place, it really is. Wow. Now, I wanted to also show you a video of this. So if you can explain to me what this is, let's have a look. Just get that out of the way. This place.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell everybody about this place, fellas.
Oh, who wants to go? This is quite a...
The Comics International Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Comic
Impulse, wasn't it? Was it
Oh, yeah, Comic Impulse. That's right. Yeah. CIA.
Yeah. CIS or something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. But go on, you go ahead, Adam.
Well, I can't really know how to explain it. And Dave and Martyn are going to have to help me out here. Basically, it is a shop in Amsterdam, but it's a house. So it's a house, but it's a shop. And it's a big townhouse. And the guy actually has 2 to 3 million comics in there.
Jeez.
All them boxes of comics. And he also has a very large collection of Coca-Cola and M&Ms, which were not for sale because me and Dave inquired, I think, of a few items of that. But Todd McFarlane's even been there and signed stuff for him and stuff like that. It was just you felt like you were in it was someone's house. It was a bit of a bizarre place, but yeah, if you're a comic book fan, it's a must. Like, that's all I would say. we found some random stuff in there, didn't we? Like I said, all this Coca-Cola stuff, just some of it's 40 years old, never been opened. It was bizarre. But,
so half of it was to buy, half of it wasn't. Is that how he was working it out, or he was just allowed him to have a look round?
Well, it's his house, so although he like sells stuff, there was his own collection in there as well. So you had to go, is this for sale? And he's like, nope. Or he'd go, yeah, that's for sale, and stuff like that. So yeah, you could, and there was basements everywhere. And to be honest, you know, it was a bit dusty and a bit random, but it was cool. What are your thoughts?
There was a basement that we couldn't go down. There was another floor above that we couldn't go up and there was more. There was the same as what you see here up in the next floors, but it was just blocked full of comic books and some of the most amazing merch I've ever seen, all boxed and, you know, not taken out of the box, just piling up the stairs. So you were blocked from going up there. I've never seen so much stuff in a house in my entire life. It was incredible.
Amazing. Absolutely. And how did you get to know this guy? Have you been here, Chris, to this gentleman?
No.
We got told to go there by Jeff of Space Oddity. He said it's round the corner. Right. And Lewis knew about it. I'd heard about it as well. And we'd got told to go there. And we basically just went round and we didn't know what to expect. And I literally was just like, I thought I was going to walk in and see a shop. But like I said, it's a house. It's been converted into a shop. It's so bizarre, if I'm honest. But what did you make of it, Dave? I'd like to know, like, if you've seen anything like that at all before.
Oh, I love that kind of place because it's the kind of place that you can go and spend hours just digging.
Yeah.
Right? You know, you can just open up a box, have a look through, and see what's there.
Yeah.
And explore. I wish he could allow us to, you know, spend the day there and allow us to go down into the basement and see what's down there.
Amazing.
Because there's 2 million plus comics and stuff. I mean, who knows what he's got there?
I came across a shelf full of LPs.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't collect LPs, but there was loads of Star Wars ones there, and I think Dave found one, didn't you, that you've never even seen before that was on there, but unfortunately it was his personal collection, so he wasn't selling those. But
I agree with David. I love stuff. It's just all over the place. You never know what you're gonna. We do it like I say, a lot of estate sales here because of the furniture and everything, and they just open the house up and you know everything's where it is. You just make an offer. But I love stuff like that because stuff's all over the place. You never know what you're gonna find, what you're gonna look at. So.
The guy was funny though. I can't remember the guy's name.
Neither can I.
Well, I can't remember his name, but it was hilarious because every 2 minutes he would go, "This is perfectly normal."
Yeah.
And then carry on.
We were going, this is insane, this is mad. And he'd go, normal. No, it's normal. It's normal. I was like...
Retro Bunga says, Adam, agree, it's a long way to go from Essex, but would love Toy Fair, so I'm going to give it a go.
To Adam Long about, because Nicky's going to Pompey Toy Fair on Sunday, and he's trying to rope me into it, and I probably will pop down with him.
Listen, if Chris Meara can come all the way to Georgia for a Toy Fair, I'm sure you could go to Holland for one. You know what I mean? How far is Holland? How far is it getting there? Was it?
Depends how you go. Like, it's quite quick on a plane, but the problem is you've got the waiting at the airport and stuff like that.
I'll never go Eurostar again.
The train is always moving,
right?
But you'll take longer.
Yeah.
So the Eurostar, did it take you straight into the Netherlands, or did you have to stop at France and then do it from there?
On the way there, it was a direct train. Right. On the way back, there was one switch over, but I don't know. I don't like trains, and I'm going to fly next time if I go. It's just.
Do you not fancy driving like Dave?
Well, that was the other option because Adam's still insured on my car from the charity road trip. So I'm thinking Adam can drive.
Yeah, Adam can drive. Yeah. Have you been to Toy Fair?
The thing about driving a car is you've got loads of space. So so I ended up having quite a lot of.
Thank you, Dave.
Larger items and fragile items in the back of the car to bring back home.
Pod Racing Pap says
that nearly got me in trouble actually because there was a G.I. Joe figure there, a big vehicle, and in hindsight I should have brought it, but I would have been like, where do I put it? Because it's massive. It's about 3 or 4 foot long.
Yeah.
It's about £100 in the UK, but they had a complete one there for 40 quid. So I was so tempted because they went, I can put it in my car. And I'm just like, no, don't say that. I'm trying to think of a reason not to buy it. Like,
What's this, Chris Mira? Next time you visit the National Video Game Museum in, I can't read that. Sorry, I haven't got my glasses. Zoetermeer.
Zoetermeer, that's a place in the Netherlands. Yeah, I don't know this museum, to be sure. It's a new one for me too.
How far is that from you?
From me, Zoetermeer, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half drive, because I live all the way to the Belgian border.
Right.
So it's quite, I think an hour and a half, something like that.
Let's have a look. No, this is the first for me.
Vintage Empire, the one who sold the Battle of the Planets figures, is here.
Nice story about the Gatchamans. Oh, is this the one? Yeah. I think I don't know. Well, thanks for coming in and listening. I appreciate that. Everyone's turned up. It's been very European, Shabby's tonight. I'm a bit excited. Taken away. It's been brilliant.
It's really nice actually, because I've gained a lot of followers since Friday, and I think so has Martyn, and they've all been these Dutch people, which is great. And Chris will detest. I am great at speaking Dutch.
Yes, perfectly fluid.
I said something to Chris and he went, "That is so wrong." That's not how you say it.
So after what VTR said about the English night, you've gained loads of Dutch followers and VTR's lost loads of English followers. I've got some more pictures here. Martyn, this is to do with you. Explain to me, sir, what these are.
Oh yeah, this is I was with Dave and we were at one of the stalls and he pulls out this folder and he had loads of animation cells from different cartoons. And I saw this and I don't know why I don't collect animation cells. I don't have an interest in them normally, but I saw this one and it instantly leaped out at me and I had to get it. So the night before I asked him to put it aside for me so I could pick it up the next day. The thing I love about this is it's an animation cell from obviously the Ewoks, but it's got that double meaning because it's got the Kenner, Ewok battle wagon on there, and it obviously, and as Dave and I were saying at the time, it's got the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves battle wagon, version of it as well. So all those meanings, I was like, I really want to get this, and I'm going to get it framed. I adore this piece. It's as I say. You all know this is something I would never ever normally have, and I found this picture, and this is the actual frame from the cartoon that cell is based on. So I'm going to try and find a high definition picture of that and somehow incorporate that into the frame when I get it mounted. So this is one of my favorite pickups when I was out there, and I think it was €45. I mean,
wow, that's not bad at all.
It's not much at all, is it? Really?
I know what you mean by them. GeForce gifted me some Orco ones from the Filmation Master of the Universe one last year, and it was so nice of it. And I got them framed, and they look nice on display if you do. So this is the Battle Wagon version.
That's the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves version, and it's kind of made me inspired to try and get the Ewok battle wagon at some point boxed if I can. I don't know how priced they are. I'm sure someone in the chat can have a
Andy Chronicles has got one. He'll tell you. He'll probably give you.
But the guy, he also had hundreds more, and he had Brave Star cartoon animation cells, but not just Brave Star. He had entire scenes. So he had, they obviously layer them so when the camera flicks past them, the character moves down. Yeah, he had the whole. I don't know, what did he call it, Dave? I can't remember, but the whole scenes, if you like, of some of the Brave Star characters climbing up and down a wall or something. Really? So you could buy all 10 of those cells for that scene. And again, they weren't expensive, to be honest with you. And he was willing to take offers. And I've never seen anything like that at a toy fair before. Again, absolutely awesome.
Yeah, there's a few differences. It's the same mold, but the skull wasn't on the Robin Hood one and so forth. Is that right?
Yeah. Was it? I think it was on the. No, it wasn't. No, you're right. It wasn't Shabby. No, yeah.
See, there's that one right there. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Cool battle wagon. Yeah, I know Andy. Speak to Andy. He might sell you one of them or do one of them. He's got a couple of them. Are you going to head over to that Toyzone next year, says Carol?
I think he's talking to George Aiken.
Oh.
I think.
Well.
So, yeah, we're all definitely going. I think we're all definitely going. Chris, are you going to go?
Yeah, and planning to cosplay for that one.
There was a few cosplayers there, weren't there? There was a few
Yeah.
Star Wars ones, and obviously your friend in the mask stuff. So it looks like an impressive dude. What else was there besides toys? Was comics a big deal there? And because I saw the vinyls were there, but books, how was that for books and comics?
Well, I could interject with a bit of a quick pickup show, but there was definitely sticker books there. There was some trading cards. So yeah, there was loads of things really. I'm probably forgetting a lot of things because I was looking back through the video that Martyn done. And I was like, I totally forgot that was there. I was doing the sort of thing that I do when I watch VTR Dave's videos, and I was going, I was with him, and I still can't even remember that. So it was, there was loads there.
Well, I've got some pictures from you too. Just hold on a sec. Mr. Berry, there he is. So before I get into seeing what you all got and so forth, I'll just show you some of these. So these are some of Adam's pickups right here.
Or did I send you a picture? I can't even remember what I sent you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all my pickups. I've got them next to me, but there's so like the stories behind some of them, especially the bootleg G.I. Joes, which I will show you in a minute. That kept us quite entertained, didn't it? In the Toy Boys, the figure on the.
Well, it kept you entertained, Adam.
It was funny. When we show you it, you'll see why. But yeah.
Well, I'm going to flick through these, then, because if you've got them to show, I'd rather have a look at them. But yeah, you got some Special Force there.
Yeah,
nice.
That's dodgy bootleg G.I. Joe stuff.
Now, what's this, Chris? What are these?
Doot waffles.
Yeah, that looks like our national treats. Stroop waffles and not strudel waffles. As Adam likes to
Strudel waffles, as I call them.
Adam was chatted up by the girl in that shop, just so you know.
Was he? I bet he was. Did he get his
She did tell me I smelt nice, and Martyn didn't believe it, but she genuinely did. She went, "Oh, you smell so nice," and her mate started blushing. So these things happen, but yeah, they were young. They were very young.
So is this like a waffle, like a natural waffle, or is it a pancake? What is it? And is it crispy? Is that how they do it? So it's like a big cracker, if you will.
It's a waffle, very thin. Two waffles with a little bit of syrup in between.
Right. So you fold it over then. Is that?
No. It's just on top of each other. So it's like a waffle, a bit of syrup in between, another part of waffle on top of it, and that's your stroopwafel. And they come in different sizes.
Yeah, they look massive. They look like record size, those.
They were about, that was the size of a 45, yeah.
Did one of these eat one? Did any of these try one of them?
I did.
Adam.
I had the Smarties one.
I was going to say, I had a bit more. They look fantastic.
Chris gifted us all a packet of waffles, and he said to us before we left, the best way to eat one is to make a cup of tea and then lay the waffle on top of the hot cup of tea so it melts the syrup on the inside. So I tried that yesterday, and I sent Chris a picture, and my God, is he right? Wow,
really good.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Is it
so
like
good.
a maple syrup that you put in it, like a?
I wouldn't say maple syrup.
No.
Did you find it's tasted a bit cinnamony? I found they tasted it, but that was just me. But I loved it. Honestly, every time I had one, I thought of Chris. So thanks.
Reynolds says they are delicious. Ever since Chris has sent me some, I buy them all the time now and rest them on top of my coffee. So you're right, Martyn. Yeah, rest them on your coffee all the time.
We've got a trend going. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you've got some stuff to show us. So I'm just going to stick Martyn there. So if you'd like to show us what you got, Martyn, or a couple of things you picked up.
Okay, the first thing is actually something I got for Steph while I was there, and I picked up these LGN Roger Rabbit Flexies,
so
I think they're called.
Oh, Flexies.
Yeah. So we had Dr. Judge Doom there. We've got Eddie Valiant there. I've forgotten his name. You've got one of the Weasels there.
Look how clear the bubbles are on them.
Yeah, they're in pretty good condition. Not perfect. And then got Roger Rabbit there, which is awesome.
Cool.
They didn't have Jessica Rabbit, unfortunately, but I was told by the guy on the stall that she's going to be pretty much impossible to get hold of. So yeah, they were my first pickup. And the other one, I was hoping Dave might have to hand. If not, don't worry about it, Dave.
I can.
Oh, excellent. So I don't know if you want to go to someone else, Shabby, and then come back.
I'll go to my good pal Chris Mera.
All right, one pickup to start with. I'm going to start with a small thing first. This is from the Thundercracker. This is from one of the later lines. I think it's War of Cybertron, it is called.
Yeah.
This is from a popular series, The Transformers. Maybe you've heard of it. It's pretty cool. And I love the Seekers. I always was a big fan with G1 Transformers, the cartoon of the duo of the threesome Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker. And yeah, I picked this up for 15 euros. And he came with a book. He was very good, Nick. I love these.
Awesome.
I love these. So I'm dipping my toes back into Transformers. So that's one thing to start with. Bigger things come later on. So I'm keeping the best for last.
Awesome. Let's have a look.
I thought we were going to go to this. Dave got Martin's thing ready.
There you go.
I do.
No pressure, Dave.
Can you talk while I...
Okay, well, this was another stall I came across, and it had just film posters there. And again, I don't collect film posters, and I came across this, and you know, let's be honest, Caravan of Courage isn't the greatest Star Wars movie ever made, but I saw this and instantly fell in love with it. And mint condition. It's a Dutch poster, obviously. The guy had absolutely tons of Star Wars posters. He had all of the original trilogy posters, Dutch posters. I think he had some Belgian posters there as well. And I don't know, it was the artwork spoke to me on this, and I had to get it. I think it looks awesome. I don't know too much about it. I think Andy would probably be able to help me.
Yeah, I was going to say, get hold of Andy, because I think he's got a few of these posters in different. So talk to Andy, he'll definitely.
Yeah, but I mean, I know it might just be me, but I looked at that and thought, you know, I could have got the Return of the Jedi one, which was awesome. I could have got the Empire one, cool. Star Wars, but I don't know. This one just jumped out at me, and this was the guy who was selling posters, and Dave had to question him if the prices were right on them, because they were that cheap, and they're all original 1980s 70s posters he had. And
is that still Drew Struzan that did that as well? I think it was, wasn't it?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure. As I say, I didn't really look into it, Shabby. I saw it and was like, I have to have that. And
yeah, that was. So did you get it for a good price? And if
I can't remember what it was. It wasn't. It was less than 40 euros, I think.
Wow.
And it's, as I say, it's a 1986 poster, you know, original Dutch poster. So I'm going to get that framed as well. And it's really weird. The main things I picked up probably are things that I've never collected in my life, but because I've never seen them before, but I instantly fell in love with them when I saw them. So,
yeah,
you know, I've got a real passion for these things now, and I've got no wall space to put any of them. But,
put them on the ceiling.
But yeah, I've got lots of more pickups, but you know, I'll save those for another time. But yeah, they're my main ones, mate.
That's so cool, Dave. That poster. It's French and Dutch even. So it's both. And there's a little line underneath. Dave, if you can get it back up again. There's in white letters at the bottom. There's a Dutch line of text. And
I would love don't want to damage or crease this poster. Seriously.
Oh, no, okay.
While I'm doing this.
The stream VTR ruined posters.
Yes, the bottom line's Dutch. I would
love to hear you read the rest of you read that up, and I just say which of you comes closest to hitting that in perfect Dutch. The bottom line.
The Adventure of the Ewoks.
I'm not even going to try.
So this gentleman saying that's the Belgian poster, French and Dutch language on one poster.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
No, I can't even. Vander Ewoks. I got that bit.
That's good. That's good.
I love it even more. But big thank you to Dave, because Dave, obviously, I was so worried about that getting creased and damaged. So big thank you to Dave for bringing that back for me.
Does Dave want a job at an auction house?
We'll start the bidding off.
I thought it did quite a good job there. Yeah.
Right, David. Like I say, if you want to show us some of the things you.
Yeah, I can show you a selection of things. I won't share everything, but
yes, sir.
I'm not prepared either. But hang on, let's start here. So that store that Adam was talking about with the sales, cartoon sales. There's one that, because I've seen a few stalls that sell those before at Sandown and various other toy fairs, and often they are things like Star Wars or those kind of Brave Star and stuff. You see those a few times, but I've never seen this one. And as soon as I saw it, I knew that I had to pick this up. And it's a Karate Kid cell.
Very cool.
Oh, this makes me
It's
think of that.
DTM.
Wow, it's DTM.
Yeah. So, and actually, I think the Karate Kid Legends is out today, actually, in the UK. So I'm gonna have to go and see that at some point. I saw this on the day before. So I'd literally spent all my money on the day before.
So when was this cartoon? I've never seen the Karate Kid cartoon. When was this made?
This would have been mid 80s. I would have
Mid-80s,
yeah, because I think it would have been I reckon in line with Karate Kid 2, because that's when the figures came out, was Karate Kid 2. So I saw this and it's like, right, this has got to be had, because this is going to make an awesome sort of backdrop to the Karate Kid display.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, that's definitely the picture's really nice as well.
Yeah,
really nice.
I mean, it says, what is it? Welcome. Welcome to the mysterious Orient, basically, with Daniel's son there.
Doesn't it look like Daniel's son's wearing a dinner jacket?
Yeah. So I think is that meant to be like his Karate Kid Part 2 outfit, isn't it? That's what it is at the end, yeah.
So I was super happy to pick this one up.
I bet you were.
Yeah, and probably get that, maybe get that framed as well. But it does have so this panel here I can see now, because I couldn't quite see it at the fair, but this panel here lifts up, so you've got the backdrop, and then you've got this panel that with Daniel on that lifts up, which they can obviously move around and change about. So happy with that.
Yeah.
And then so along with Martyn's poster, I picked up a poster as well. I did have to question the price and the authenticity of it.
I hope you charged for all this cargo, Dave. I hope you charged him.
So I picked up this one.
Ah, cool.
Wow. Oh, I was just talking about this on Monday. That's so weird. I was talking about this, saying if I had to pick movie posters, I'd probably do Roger Moore ones. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow, how weird is that? How ironic. Yeah.
That's
awesome. That is beautiful.
And it's immaculate. This is why I had to question it, because to me it seems too immaculate. But when you look at it closely, it's a very kind of thin paper as well, and it's it's definitely original.
So how did you get them? Did you roll them up, or did you put card in between them? How did you?
They've been rolled up, and then I put them in a box, and because I really didn't mind creasing my own poster, but I was very concerned about creasing Martyn's.
DCB's going to love that in the living room, just above the fireplace.
While I'm here, I just want to say thanks to somebody, which is PGM. I want to say thanks to PGM while we're on the subject of posters, because he messaged me a long time ago and said, "Hey, I've got something that I think you'll like. I'll send it over." I said, "You don't have to. Don't worry about it." But he sent me over this.
No, quad. Is that quad?
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit doggy, but I don't care. It's really cool.
Yeah. Sometimes it's doggy is add to it.
Yeah. So I just want to say, I mean, what a classic. I'll just put it there.
This is reminding me of Sunday evening in Amsterdam.
Kieran Bull says it looked well. They didn't go to Amsterdam.
Oh no, this isn't a bomb poster. This was a photo we took on.
That's beautiful.
I just wanted to say thank you to PGM in public on the stream, because that was very generous of him to do that.
Awesome. Anything else to show, Dave?
Oh, a few little things.
Cool.
I just randomly. So in the Space Oddity, I was umming and ahhing about that Godzilla, and I was thinking, if I get that, I'm going to have to buy something for DCB, because DCB wasn't with us with the toy shop. She, believe it or not, she wanted to go and actually see some of Harlem and do some of her own shopping. So I thought, well, I was umming and ahhing, do I buy this Godzilla or not? And if I do, I'm going to have to sweeten the deal somehow. So also in Space Oddity, there are quite a few ET bits of merchandise. So an ET headband, it's a pink one, of course. So I had to get a pink one for DCB, and ET laces.
Really cool.
Brilliant! Oh, look at them, yeah.
From back in the day, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. E.T. Lives. And then my favourite are these E.T. balloons. So I got those for DCB, even though I didn't actually buy the Godzilla, you know.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. And then so something that really I did not expect to see in Holland, and I actually saw it a few times, and I kept going back to them, and in the end I thought I'm gonna get these. And I was talking to the stall owner, and it turns out that well, Chris will know this. It turns out that in Holland they showed a lot of the original British TV series in Holland, and so some of them became quite popular. And there's a figure line I've been looking for ages, but whenever you come across them in the UK, they're super expensive and a silly price. And there they were, sat there, and I couldn't believe it. And there are figures from Dempsey and Makepeace.
Yes.
No way. Now, do these go in that
convertible? I
went back. I had to go in because it's like I can't leave them behind.
Yeah.
Because they're in great condition.
Yeah.
They're in great condition. And they were super cheap for these figures. So you got, Makepeace, you got Dempsey as well there. And then my favorite, and I think Keith Knight is going to appreciate this one. Who knew that there was actually a Bobby? That's awesome.
So they're scaled like G.I. Joes, aren't they?
Yeah.
Sort of articulation.
Yeah. So they did the vehicle, they did the escort as well for Dempsey and Makepeace, and a few other things as well. So yeah, I'm gonna have to try and find some of the baddies now.
Do they go in scale with that cabriolet you showed in one of your latest videos?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
The cabriolet comes with Makepeace. So the cabriolet comes with this figure. So yeah, it's like I would never have expected to find those in Holland, but apparently I was speaking to the stall owner and they loved the show. They loved it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
Yeah. So I got some nice big ticket items from the show, but I'll save those for my video.
No, you save them. Yeah, you do exactly the right thing. So I was going to say it's lovely of you lot to ask me to do this, but remember, watch Martyn and Adam's, watch Chasing 80s, and watch Vintage Troubleshooters videos. You'll see a lot more of what they got. So perfect. Right, let me just put Adam there. Adam, what did you get, buddy?
So I got quite a bit, and obviously
you can show everything, Adam.
I don't have YouTube, so I'm probably going to show it all. But I do put it on my Instagram, and some of it's already gone on there. So I actually went. I wanted to get this. Like, this was one of my things that I had on my list to get, and I knew you'd probably only be able to get it in Europe. It's really hard to get it in the States, and it's even impossible to get in the UK because it was never released here. But this was the old Tiger Force Sting. It's really hard to get with the steering wheel and so on and so forth. It's just with the two fuel tanks on the back. I did have I was tipped off by a tyre who knew a seller who had it. And so therefore I basically went straight to him, and he put it behind for a couple of hours, and I ummed and ahed over it. But in the end, I just went for it with a bundle deal. I got some other bits as well. But this is saying, this now is kind of lost one of the fuel tanks. But this is something I've been after for a very, very long time.
What were the prices for Joe's like? Were they good?
Yes, that was a bit of a hard one to gauge the price on. I didn't overpay for it. I probably paid about right for it because I got it with a bundle deal. It was quite hard to gauge, but I did get this. Is something I am really chuffed with. So this is the vehicle driver for the USSS flag. So you could only get this if you got the USSS flag. And basically, this goes for like £60 in the UK, maybe. And I got this for £30. It was ridiculous. So there's no cracks on it, nothing wrong with it. I was really chuffed with that.
There you go. You can follow Adam on Instagram right there. Thank you, Connor.
Thanks, Connor. Spitballs. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is unpunched, this one, but I've already got a couple of these. But there was 6 in the range. And basically, this one was one I didn't have. Although I walked around twice, picked this up, walked around twice, saw these again because he had 2 sets of these. Right. Randomly thought, oh, I need that one. Brought it, went to put it in my bag, and I'm like, already got it. So I looked at the guy and went, I don't think I'm going to buy this. And he laughed and he went and he gave me back my money and just said, oh, it was so much stimulation and
it's called a stew thing. That it's a stew
not even. I did have a stew moment. So yeah, that's quite cool. Micro machines. So I got this off Leo, who runs a shop in Italy and has a warehouse underground and all this full of stuff. He did say if we ever go to Italy, he'd happily show us it, which was nice. This is completely mint sealed in box. That was £25. Like, it's probably I would have paid about £40 if I'd have got it from the UK, if I could even get it. It doesn't always come up. It's not rare, but it just doesn't always come up. Yeah. So that's just a mini Micro Machines playset. Couldn't leave it there. I do like.
Yeah, you're right about the condition of it. It looks brand new, that thing, Adam.
I do like a bit of bootleg. So we've got some Spanish bootleg G.I. Joes. So these are terrible, but they're great. That guy looks a bit like Chuckles, who was a character out of G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
But these are, I ummed over these for ages. And just before I left, went over to the stall and he was selling them for like €12.50 each, which is about £11. And I said, I like these, but I don't know if I can bother to buy them. And he said, you can have them for €7, which is about £6. So I went, there you go, I'll buy them then. He was just trying to get rid of them because it's the end of the day. So I picked these up then. But they're terrible, but they're great in the same sort of time. I got a Dutch fully complete G.I. Joe sticker book, which I got from the Toy Boys. Chatting to Pete about it. I can practice all my Dutch because all the writing is in Dutch.
Is that Panini as well?
Panini. The stickers have been stuck in really carefully by some very astute child who didn't mess about when he done the big photos.
Yeah.
He was really good about it.
I apologise about my dogs. The Amazon's just turned up, so if you can hear my dogs barking, that's what it is.
CIA or CIS, I can't remember, CIA, I got a couple of masked comics. So these, I've got the full set of IDW 90, I'll repeat again. I've got a full set of IDW 2017 masked comics. There was 10 released, but each one had 10 different covers. So there's 40 of them. But I got these two. These are 2 of the variant covers for number 1. So I've now got 3 number 1s. But, and these were £2.50 each. eBay, they're £10-15, even if you can find them. So, again, it was a no-brainer. Again, good prices. It was just like, you see stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm not going to leave a comic, even though I've got the same comic, just a different cover. I love the artwork. So there's no way I'm going to leave that.
Yeah, it sounds like the way you lads are talking, everything was priced to sell. They just want, you know what I mean? Which I love that, it's
bootlegs galore. So we've got the Toy Boys, new old stock. This is Special Forces. It's meant to be G.I. Joe. It's terrible. It's rubbish, but it was great prices. And again, I'm not going to leave.
The box art's pretty cool, to be honest.
Box art's amazing. Yeah. And this epitomises everything people think about Amsterdam, which is really quite harsh. But going to Amsterdam, and everybody says red light district and all that, we've got a bondage G.I. Joe. Genuinely a guy in bondage gear. Like, you can't believe that, can you?
Hang on a minute. The name is Manga Fandanga.
It says Simon Richardson on that. Yeah.
That's what he says.
But no, so that's quite cool. I'm just trying to think.
Exactly, Luke. Exactly, yeah.
Got a few other bits. I won't bore you too much, but a few
You're
other
not boring
bits.
us at all. I enjoy looking at your stuff.
So these are really cool. Again, these are the stuff I picked up in the Toy Boys. So these are ET kind of trading cards. Now, they're not sealed or anything. They're not meant to be. They open at the top. Right. And you just pull them out. But they were only ever made in Holland. So I wanted something that you could only get in Holland as well. And this is like one of them. So I got loads of packets of them. Some of the pictures are better than others. I think it's actually flip-sided. So they're cool. Picked up some 18 tattoos sealed in packets. So again, these were, I think, Pete, the Toy Boys actually gifted some of these to me, Dave, and Martin. So that was kind of really nice of him. But they're really cool. New old stock, like it's brand spanking new. So cool. G.I. Joe napkins, because why not?
Yeah.
And they were chucked in with the bundle deal for the.
It is funny how you three have picked completely different things for your collections. You know what I mean?
Well, I like merch, and I do like merch, and I like things like this. So for me, I was just like, I love this because it's got, you know, Shockwave on there. Shockwave's one of my favourite G.I. Joes. So yeah, Brazilian shop display of Quick Kick. Cool. Now, I've got a couple of Brazilian stuff, which Robbo Toys gifted me a Brazilian G.I. Joe standee a few months back. And basically, this is another kind of thing this is a Quick Kick one, and it's just unique. I don't know if I'm actually going to put it into the position it should be in. It kind of folds out like a tent, but I might just leave it flat like that. But I like that.
Similar to Dead Steve, because it's Star Wars fan and because it's G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I do buy a lot of G.I. Joe, but these are quite cool. These are Space Odyssey. These are Turtles blind bags, but they're like 1990 and they're tattoos.
Wow.
So I thought they were quite cool. And I think that's about it. I think I'm just trying to see if I've got any other things smuggling around, but yeah, that was it. So I'll give you back.
Perfect. Yeah. Absolutely perfect. So before we go, and I'd like I said, thanks to all four of you for letting me do this. I've really enjoyed this, listening to your experiences and stuff. It's nice to see that you've all bought a piece of Holland as well. You've all bought something that's represented that country and brought it back, which I think is awesome. But I'm just going to go around for your final thoughts. So Adam, I'll start with you. What was your overall thought of your weekend?
Yeah, it was ace, and I just want to say a big thank you to the people I shared it with. So that would be Martin, VTR, Dave, Camilla. Every time I meet Camilla, I love her more and more. She's a lovely person. So, it was great spending time with Camilla. Lewis from Toy Overdose, great spending time with him. You've got Pete and Michelle at the Toy Boys. You've got Jeff at Space Odyssey, Tyra at Toyzone. Chris, seeing Mr. Miwar again was great. So, yeah, I just want to say thanks to everybody who shared and kind of them moments with me and that weekend with me. It was really good. And 100% going back next year. It's, if it can happen, it's going to happen because, I really want to go back and get some more stuff.
Awesome.
Adam, don't forget to thank the girl at the red light district.
We've got a picture. It's in the intro. We've got a picture. So
I did go walking around Amsterdam on my own Sunday night because I've never been to Amsterdam. So I wanted to have a look around Amsterdam on Sunday night. And I got a stoop waffle, what's it called? Stoop waffle, yeah, good. I got one of them, and then I was walking around. I did go for a walk down certain roads and stuff like that, but it was just nice to take in the culture. It's very touristy, very touristy. And
it looks a beautiful place, so it really does. I mean, like I said, I wanted to get some pictures for the intro, and I thought, wow, man, this place looks really.
Well, I took most of the pictures that I put up on my Facebook and Instagram, I took on that Sunday night because it's really nice sun. There was loads of like nice canals that you could take pictures of and stuff like that. And I took a lot of them pictures on that Sunday night.
All right. If these lads have no problem with it, I'll play the gallery again. Going out, I will. Wow, look at that.
Loving
Chris got to do his pickups.
Yes.
What? The Tomahawk.
Is that what you picked that up at the what is it?
I picked this up. Yeah. I went back to a store where we went a couple of times, and this was 40 euros. This was from Lost Toys 82. Wonderful seller called Mike. I think his name was, if I remember correctly, had a lot of. He had the big vehicle, which name eludes me at the moment, for 40 euros that Adam was a bit about. From gonna get it, not. And I got
Rolling
this.
Thunder.
Yeah, the Rolling Thunder. Yeah, cheers, mate. This one, it misses just 3 small parts, and one of them is already on the way. And
but look at the blades on it. The blades are all
the hard ones. Yeah,
it's a beauty. It's a beauty. Plus, I got some other thing, and you'll love this, Shabby. This also was 40 euros. He comes with a pilot with a red scarf. Don't know what his name is. Nobody knows what his name is, but
I can't remember.
Wow.
But he comes, of course, with this beauty.
Oh yeah, it was because of your video that I was like, that is brilliant.
It's a beauty. It's beauty, and it's only missing the tip. And the tip is already on the way now. We already found it. So once that's here, this is a complete one, and I'm going to clean it up a bit further. But I also did a bit of work on it already. So look at that bird.
Yeah, beautiful.
The funny thing, can I just add? The funny thing about that is Chris brought that at a stall, and I genuinely, I don't think for a long time I've seen a grown man who literally I thought he was a child at Christmas. He's just smiling from ear to ear the whole time he was holding it.
Yeah. And the thing is, and I told Adam this when we walked together. Once I bought it, I was like, it's not only the toy, it's the moment, the memory when you buy this toy. And I was with the mates from the UK there. We were there, and that's when I bought this toy, and that makes this extra special. You know, the circumstances, the situation. And that gives this toy such a cool memory. So it's extra special because of that.
Awesome. That's a great way to look at it. Anything else, Chris?
No, that's just the 3 ones I prepared as quick as I could.
So what were your overall thoughts then, buddy? Seeing everybody and having a good weekend?
Yeah, wonderful. It's a memory for the books. Again, priceless memories. It's similar warmed feeling like NSC about meeting these guys, and a lot of my friends from the Netherlands were there as well, and it's just so cool. And without the friendships and the community, it would just be the toys, and toys are cool, but it's that community on top of that toys that makes it priceless, doesn't it?
I know. Yeah, you're exactly right. It's like I said, I do get jealous. I've said this a few times to you, lads, and this is why I really, really appreciate you doing stuff like this when you do it for NEC, and because it gets people like ourselves involved. You know what I mean? Like you feel, we're not there, but you make us feel like we are there. So I really, really appreciate it. My good friend VTR, what was your overall thoughts, pal?
Well, for me, it was like part sort of getaway with Camilla, because we spent 5 days away basically, and then also with the bonus of meeting up with all the friends and collectors and having fun around Haarlem and Amsterdam. And I was not 100% right. I was like 80% healthy throughout the whole time. So I apologize to Camilla if I wasn't quite with it all the time.
She's used to it.
She's used to it now. Yeah. So it was great to actually meet new dealers that that you just don't see usually, right? So it was something fresh, and it was great. It was great fun. It was like a lad's holiday, but with your partner with you as well.
It's a strange lad's holiday, but I know what you mean.
Exactly. It was good. It was good fun, right? Really good fun for the 5 days. And you know what? One of my highlights was on the way back, being able to visit Chris at his home.
That's awesome. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, and I can see Chris's backdrop there. To be there.
Yeah.
It was it was just fantastic to meet Black Pearl as well, and we had the Stroop waffles over the tea.
I saw that picture of you in Black Pearl. That was a great photo.
Yeah,
brilliant.
That was fantastic. So we were just we had a great chat, great hospitality, Chris. I just want to thank you for that.
Chat about MR2s.
Chat about our favorite car of back in the day, which was the Toyota MR2.
That was a beautiful car.
Had the same one.
Wow.
So we were reminiscing about that, and so Chris, thanks very much for your hospitality on. We love that. Loved it. Loved the 5 days. Definitely going to go back next year, and probably try and find some other European toy fairs as well, and see if we can
So you're going to make like because this is a one day, you're thinking, you know what, we could try, because like you just said, if Belgium, if you live on the border, Belgium can't be that far away from Holland, you know, to get to these places and so forth.
Belgium's much easier, yeah. Belgium would be much easier. So there is one there, and I think there's one in Germany, so it's a bit further. But yeah.
There's one in Belgium a week before my one in England, Southend, and I think that's called Vintage Toys of the Universe, and I've been eyeing that one up. That was quite good.
Well, Germany would be good. How well known Martyn is in Germany. You get you loads of discounts, you know.
I'll get it for free.
I get it for free. Martyn, what's your overall thoughts, my friend?
Well, I'll echo what everybody else said, you know, in terms of thanking everybody, because there was a lot of people to thank. Adam listed most of them. I've got to give a big thank you. I know I've already said it to Adam, because, you know, I just turned up and everything was arranged. So, and that was because of Adam. So cheers, buddy. That was absolutely awesome. Now I'm not I know for a fact I'm not the most seasoned visitor of toy fairs on this panel. I know you guys go to them a lot more than I do. But what I would say about this toy fair, if I had to compare it against all of the toy fairs I've been to over the last few years, that hands down, this has been my favorite toy fair that I've ever visited. And that includes Sandown and includes Echo as well. And that's all Star Wars. I had such a good time at this toy fair. Everybody was so friendly. Even the people Adam and I met when we were just walking about the streets were just absolutely amazing, and we're happy to chat and talk to us, and you know, we had a really, really good time. Do
you remember that guy, Martyn, who was walking towards Lewis's hotel, and the guy with the dog? That was an awesome moment, weren't it?
Yeah, he was excellent, and you know, I genuinely cannot wait to go back next year, and I hope anybody, if they're able to, decides to go as well, because I can't recommend it enough. I had such a great time, and if it's doubling in size next year, which is supposed to be, I mean, it's only going to get even more amazing. So yeah, absolutely great. Can't wait to go back.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Well, and again, I just want to thank you all for coming on, sharing your stories, showing us what you've got. And please, everybody, if you're watching this now or watching on the replay, please check out the lads' YouTube videos, because they will, you know, Martyn and Adam have already made theirs. VTR will have one. Chasing 80s will have one. Go and watch the channels, subscribe. You'll love them. I'm a big fan. And I don't say that about anybody's unless I really like them. So that's awesome. Anybody got anything coming up that they want to talk about? I've got ZSR on Matt's channel on Friday, and then Top 5 on Monday. And thank you all for making that a success. It's been brilliant. It's Gary Moore and Scuba Pete showing their Top 5 on Friday. But does anyone else have anything coming up they'd like to share before we go?
Well, this Friday I'll have part 2 of the Amsterdam visit going out. So that's us visiting it, the Toy Boys and the Space Oddity stores, which, as Adam and all of us have said, were brilliant. So yeah, that's coming out on Friday.
Awesome. And even if I do say so myself, I've seen it. And I'd just like to say a big thank you to Adam and Martyn, who have edited it, I think. And I think Adam's been involved, hasn't he? Or has it just been you, Martyn?
Yeah, you'll notice that when the video that came out on Tuesday, that the intro was pretty good, I think, and I had nothing to do with that. So you can tell that Adam did that.
Yeah. It's funny because I've got people saying, I liked your video to me, and I'm like, I'm nothing to do with this. I just kind of substitute in when the other Adam isn't available, and you know, all the thanks should go, and all
Adam too.
The praise should go to Adam and Martyn, because you know, I just turn up and we had a few ideas, and we said we'd do this, do that, and we'd talk about toy lines. But I'm just the annoying person who stands.
No, you don't. You live up to your name. That nickname side gave you the clipboard kid. I thought
I'm just one of these sort of people just stands next to everybody, talks to like. I've lost count the amount of time people think I narrate VTR Dave's videos now, and because I'm just me in the background talking, like, and I'm just like, I need to do
the VTR and Adam show, yeah, brilliant. Well, I like it. I like that you're in them videos and so forth. I've got one more question for you. Question for the panel: how pissed off were the Dutch when you three walked?
You definitely got the feeling they looked and go, they are not from around here. They are definitely English.
Oh, well, brilliant. Well, there you have it. There's the show. I've really appreciated it. Thank you to all the newcomers that have come in as well. That was really nice for you all to come in and share your stories and experiences. But we'll go. Thank you all. Thank you to Chris. Thank you to VTR. Thank you to our Martyn. And thank you to Adam for coming in. I'll leave you with the gallery. Good night, everyone. See you later.
Laters.
La, 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 la. it's spring again, I'll bring again tulips from Amsterdam. With a heart that's true, I'll give to you tulips from Amsterdam. I can't wait until the day you fill these eager arms of mine. Like the windmill keeps on turning, that's how my heart keeps on yearning for the day I know we can share these tulips from Amsterdam. Spring again, oh, I'll bring again tulips from Amsterdam. With a heart that's true, I'll give to you tulips from Amsterdam.